I hope that's the intro.
That's the intro to Console Corner.
Why?
What's up, all you awesome gamers? I'm the Governor, one of the hosts of this fantastic podcast called The Console Corner, your number one source for all things gaming. If this is your first time listening to the show, we dive deep, oh, so deep, I couldn't wait to say that, oh my god, into the gaming industry, news, games, and everything in between. Tonight is going to be a great show, lots of topics to talk about, and we are motherfucking back, people! We are back! Can't freaking wait! It's great. Good times. Good times. All right, but first, let's go ahead and introduce the rest of our hosts on the Console Corner. First up, we have the She-Wolf.
Hey, guys. I hope you guys are excited to be back, because I'm sure all of us are. And we have some new people.
We do. We do have some new people. Next up, we have Mr. Magic Mike.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Magic Mike in the flesh.
Sporting those abs. Next up, we have a Brewtal Knight. We got him out of retirement, people.
What up? Oh, dude, I've been so stoked to get back on this show.
Heck yeah. Next up, we have...
Chat tonight.
Next up, we have a new guy to the show, Mr. Destro.
What up?
That was very short and sweet.
And next, you probably know this guy from Twitter, Mr. Sith.
Hey everyone, this is SithlordMike, the father of darkness, maker of flames, and I'm very happy to be here and nervous.
Everyone's got nerves. Like, I was totally on like Twitter earlier doing the live thing, and I was just like, I don't even know how to do this anymore.
I was laughing, though, because I'm like, oh, my God, you're so nervous.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, before we get into the topics, we work hard to bring you the Console Corner every week, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know when we go live. Also, if you like what you see and you want to consider supporting us, why don't you go on over to patreon.com/consolecorner and check out what we got going on over there. Also, we have Super Chat up, and if you don't want to do the whole Patreon thing, you can do that and help us out. It's all optional, guys. You don't have to do any of that stuff. We're still going to continue to bring you an awesome show, but if you could help us out, it'd be awesome. Make sure you drop us your questions in the chat or in the comments below. We'll answer a few of them at the end of the show like we do every week. Well, we haven't done it in the last few weeks. We've been kind of on
I was going to
hiatus.
say, how does that work? Oh, hey, every week we do that. No.
You know what, She-Wolf? I don't like you anymore.
It was like last year.
Yeah.
And by the way, huge shout out to our very first Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty J.
We love you, Dirty
Next
J.
week, there'll actually be the after the show credit type thing that's going to have names of the people who support the channel with Patreon.
Nice. And
Was
our
that
cat.
a cat?
Yeah, it's our cat.
I thought I locked
Cat's
him in the
insane.
garage, but apparently I didn't.
Anyway.
He sounds like a baby when he freaking
He does.
cries.
He sounds like a little kid.
Did somebody just say meow?
He does. Oh my god, he gets going too.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the icebreaker topic, and it's my favorite one. I changed it up a little bit from the last show when we were doing it. We kind of talked about what the games we played and rambled off about like a million games. But this one we're going to do just your favorite game of the week that you've been spending most of your time in. And we're going to go ahead and start with Sith. What you've been spending a lot of your time playing this week, man?
Of course, Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's an awesome game. I love it. It's
Nice.
it's that game. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Kingdom Come. I still haven't picked that up and played that yet, so.
I heard that game's super hard at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit challenging, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's not like Dark Souls challenging, but
Right.
you know.
Oh, that's terrible. Then I don't even want to play this now. All right, next up, Tim. What you been playing, dude?
I've just been playing PUBG, bro. I can't wait for tomorrow. The new third year drops, Chimera for Siege.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yay.
I'll be playing that.
Brutal's like, oh yeah.
Just haters, bro. You keep playing.
Brutal, what you been playing, dude?
Dude, I've been I've been playing it on a shitload of Fortnite. I'm not even gonna lie.
Nice.
Just started picking back up on Path of Exile since the new league started. Kind of stoked about that. They got a new feature added in there, so that's pretty cool. What else have I been playing? Really, man, that's about the only 2 games I've really been playing because I've been streaming a ton lately. So I've been kind of sticking to what people on the stream want to watch. So that's it right now, really.
Sweet. All right, Mr. Magic Mike, what you been playing, man?
Man, I took a trip back to 1997. I revisited my 14-year-old self, and I've been playing that Turok remaster all weekend long. I've been getting into it, and I mean, I swear it is the best remaster I've ever played because they didn't change the original game. They up-resed it. They added a little bit of polish on it, but that is still the identical gameplay to what I played on my N64, and I've been loving every minute of it.
I just don't know if I can get in for like $20 for both for each of those games, man.
Yeah, $40 is steep for that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I loved both of those games with a passion.
I mean, that's fair. If you loved them, then yeah, for sure.
So,
that's the other thing is like, how much does nostalgia cost? You know,
right?
Hey, I would have paid $100 to go out to a pawn shop and buy an N64 with a copy of Turok. So $40 is a steal to me.
Wow. Bro.
Apparently, nostalgia's super popular lately, anyways. Considering that we're repolishing a bunch of old shit in the first place, but we'll get to that later.
That is true.
It's true. She-Wolf, what you been playing? Like everything? What was your favorite one this week?
My favorite one this week, or well, last week.
Yeah, I should say that last week.
What did
So
I
many you can't
play
have.
last week? Honestly, I don't remember what I played last.
Oh, you're such a fail at this.
She hasn't been playing good on Fortnite, I'll tell you that. I've seen that.
Yeah, I know I've played that.
Yeah,
But
Fortnite.
hey, huge shout out to Death Reaper for that donation, and he says GKB is babe.
Yeah, you know it. You know it, brother. I appreciate it, man. All right, so what I've been playing, let's see. Shocker. I'm still playing Diablo.
Oh yeah.
Brutal wants to get me on Path of Exiles and start doing seasons and that to
Come on, baby. You gotta just hop on it with me. Just come along on this train, and I will show you the way.
Why? So you can
You don't
ditch
know the
him
way.
and
But I
just
have been
go
playing
play
Fortnite. I've been having a good time with that. We played with Chaotic, Tim,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So I gotta stop saying Tim though.
Yeah.
I just pointed it out. Anyway,
Destro. We were playing with Destro and Chaotic. I saw Chaotic in the chat. Shout out to you.
sweet. That's everybody. That was the games we've been playing. Our fun times. Let's go ahead and get into the first topic. And we're going to talk about ESRB's rating for loot boxes, thoughts, and is this enough? So before we go ahead and get everybody's opinion on it, the Entertainment Software Rating Board announced what it is introducing labeling to video game boxes that will signify whether a game offers the ability to spend money on additional content. This comes from a Polygon article, and they said, notably, the ESRB proposed labeling system does not specifically call out randomized purchases such as loot crates. It only points out the ability for downloadable content. So basically, this thing covers every microtransaction that could possibly be in the game, DLC or anything. And it doesn't really, I feel it doesn't really go after the real problem, the whole gambling thing with loot boxes and people spending lots of money on that. I don't really care about microtransactions as far as like if it's just cosmetic shit and all that kind of stuff. As long as it's not pay to win, I don't really care what they do and want to earn any extra money. It is optional. You don't have to buy for that stuff. But, you know, if they're going to do it, let's do it right, not just half-ass because of whatever.
You know what's funny, though? This whole thing is they want to put it on the box. Who actually...
That's the other
thing. Please, if I'm wrong, guys, who actually reads the stupid box? Like, half the time, the box...
Here's the thing, though. I think that the target is the people that read the box. The target is I think the target's more to target parents, not the player.
Dude, I buy my kids game, and I never look at the...
Yeah,
well, I'm just saying.
And if you buy...
Yeah, so I guess for like,
but what happens when you buy it digitally?
Yeah, but I think it's just to appease parents at all. That's all it is. It's kind of like putting down for like, oh, smoking causes cancer. It's just to appease people. It's nothing special.
Well, and I don't even think it's to appease the parents, because the parents aren't the ones that are complaining about this. Right now, it's politicians and, you know, a few vocal parents maybe. But really, when it comes down to the ESRB, how many people do you know? Everyone's been in a GameStop and seen some kid saying, "Mommy, I want this game," and they buy them like GTA 5 without reading anything about the rating on there.
That's a mixed argument. Like, because politicians might care, but you think politicians really care about the video game, or do they care because the people voting for them are making an outcry, which are the parents? Or because no gamer, I know none of us here are going to pick up the box like, oh shit, there's microtrans in this game, I'm getting the hell out of here, I'm not.
But I think
that's what a lot of people said about Battlefront 2 though.
Yeah, I think the underlining thing though is like loot boxes. Like, why are we like broad like doing microtransactions when the outcry isn't about like microtransactions in general? It's just the loot box system and how it's kind of like a gambling system, and people with addictive personalities could totally.
Yeah, but
if you can't handle your gambling problem, then that's not our fault.
It's not even about a gambling problem. It's about like, what's the big deal? They're just doing it to appease parents, because parents are making excuses. You got to think about this. They gave back. Think about going back to like Google and stuff like that, and Apple. Apple had to pay $32.5 million back to parents that complained about in-app purchases for Candy Crush and stuff.
See, that's actually what this whole thing is coming down to. It's not actually to appease the parents. It's actually just to cover their own asses, because it's whiny, and I can say this because I am a parent. It's whiny parents who don't bother watching what their kids are actually doing, attach their credit cards to their accounts, not locking them and actually using the parental guides like you're supposed to, and just allowing their credit card to be there. So their kids just buy whatever they decide they want to buy because, oh, hey, who cares what my child is doing?
I mean,
they're doing it, though, because of the fact that there's been so many like parents who are complaining because they go to these companies and they're like, well, my son bought all this and I didn't know, and no, you need to give me this money back. But if they put this on the box, regardless of how big it is, or if they put it in a description, they no longer are... they're not liable. Yes, that is the word I'm looking for. They're not liable, because then they can say, look, there was a warning.
Well,
so this is your own fault.
Right now, couldn't they skirt around that liability when the end user license agreement pops up on the screen and you press A to agree without reading all the way through it?
Yeah, I mean technically that's where I think really it should go anyway. It's just in that whole EULA thing in terms of services kind of stuff. So
yeah, but it's probably already in terms and services. They're just trying to figure out another way so it's not a loophole in a court system. It's not a loophole asking for a refund.
But at the end of the day, it's not really like I don't really see like the ESRB is going to get into trouble or anything like that, irregardless of like anything. And then here's the other part that I wanted to bring up too with this whole thing is like, if you're going to do it half-ass, it's probably not a good idea, because if people are already looking at it and causing a problem, the more half-ass you do it, the more likely like the government and stuff are going to step in and then just put their.
Why are you saying it's half-ass? Are you saying it's half-ass because it's not getting rid of loot boxes or blocking loot boxes, or
well, not like specifically even like you're pointing out anything? They're just, it's like a broad general stroke, and like anybody that like looks at that and is just like, well, yeah, every video game that's been out for like the last fucking 10 years has microtransactions.
Well, I think that's the point that xSheWulfx was making too, is like it's all about limiting their liability when somebody comes back at them. So if you're gonna have that warning on there, they're gonna make it as broad as possible, so there's a ton of gray area for when somebody tries to come back. If it gets to the point where it's a legal battle, lawyers are gonna have plenty of ammunition to defend their company against. So they're limiting the potential for a lawsuit or backlash from parents. And regardless, like I said earlier, regardless if people actually make money or actually spend money, or their kids spend money that they didn't want to spend in the first place, at the end of the day, this company is going to be fine whether they have this warning on the box or not. And like Tim said, it's to just appease people, I think. And I agree with Tim on that.
Because what was it? GTA's made like over $400 million on these microtransactions.
I'm sure Fortnite's getting up there with their $20 freaking skins.
Exactly. But think about it. You're taking a $32 million hit to pay people back.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have it on the outside of the box and in the term and agreements, when you say like, "Oh, I want my money back," like, no, this is how it is.
Well, that's my point. That's why I said they're doing it just to cover their own butts. Because hey, parents, if you don't want this happening, watch your damn kids.
Yeah, but it's not even that. Think about like when you were a kid and you had like porn on the cable and you rent it, and your parents are like, "What's this?" You know what I'm saying? And they would call the cable company and ask for a refund. No questions asked. Be like, "Oh, my 2-year-old must have hit the button." Now you have to put like 17 different things. I know it's a bad analogy.
Okay, but the thing is, though, consoles cover like it's literally a one-step process for putting a password on your credit card. Like you literally just go into the settings, click payment, and you don't have to block anything else. You can put it only on your credit card, so that a passcode has to be put in to buy anything. It's really simple. It's really easy. And Microsoft promotes that. PlayStation promotes that. Nintendo promotes that. So the only thing they haven't done is just promoted it on their boxes to say, hey, there is microtransactions. Now, however, that's not really fair to, you know, because that's also going to tie in, you have DLC, you have season passes and all that other thing, like stuff. So it also does give a little bit of a mislead of like, okay, so there's in-game purchases. How does, you know, where does the DLC come into this? Where does the season pass come into this? So
well, I mean,
they do need to explain it a little bit of what they're actually trying to target.
Well, and they've also even started to make the DLC and the season passes. They've made them in-game purchases on certain games at this point. You know, if you look at Assassin's Creed Origins, for example, you can purchase the season pass, you can purchase the individual DLCs right from within the main menu of the game. So they're kind of blurring that line between what's an in-game purchase and what's a DLC. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you, xSheWulfx, in any way whatsoever, because I agree with everything you said. I think that this really comes down to an education issue for the parents out there that are letting their kids run these game systems. Even, you know, the Xbox, if you want to set up a gamer tag, you have to have an email address. In order to set up an email address, you have to be, you know, 18 or 13 years and older with a parent's permission. How many people have set up email addresses or just given their email address to their kids so they have an Xbox Live gamer tag? I know my cousin, he's playing underneath my my sister's email address, and it comes up on my friends list with her name whenever he signs on. So I know that there are people out there that aren't paying attention to this. And really, if they are going to put loot boxes on the case or in-game transactions in any way, sure, that's a good step in the right direction. But like when it comes down to the ESRB ratings, I see so many parents that don't pay attention to those whatsoever. And there are so many games out there nowadays that have in-game purchases, that have microtransactions, that you're going to see the same logo on every single box that's out there. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it's going to become meaningless. You're going to see the one box that doesn't have that logo, and you're going to think, as a parent who doesn't know what's going on, what's wrong with that game? Why doesn't it have this logo on it? Yeah, all these other games do. Look, my son, he wants Call of Duty. It's got that logo on it, so this game must be crap because there are no microtransactions. You're not going to remember what the real meaning of it is after a year or two.
I just think we should just look at the positive side, that they're actually doing something about it instead of just nothing at all. So I look at it as a good thing. I know, you know, they are just covering their asses, but I think overall it's a good thing that they're doing at least something instead of just nothing at all. Like, oh, well, you know, just let these little kids put millions of dollars or whatever the hell they're putting into it and just let them run amok, do what they want, you know? And I think it's just a good thing. I just look at the positive sides. And I think overall how, you know, the market works, in some instances, it will fix itself, hopefully. I know not all the time, you know, capitalism is not perfect, but it fixes itself. Hey, you know, I had an issue at my job, and someone was saying, you know, you should change the price of this to this part. And I'm like, no, I know I could sell it at this. And I dictate what the market says, and kind of in my area. So whatever they purchase, I know what sells, what's not, So no customer, you could go somewhere else, and a customer end up buying it anyway. So it's just how it is, you know. So I just look at the positive side to it, that they actually are doing something. I looked at it as a positive thing. I didn't look at it as negative at all. So
the thing is, there is no negative to this. It's not actually affecting really anybody. It's just to cover bases. That's the funny part about all of this. Everyone's talking about this like it's going to affect anything. It's not actually going to affect the way you play the game. It's not going to affect the way that the games are being sold. It's literally just to say that there's microtransaction, which majority of people already know that.
No, not necessarily. Based off what y'all said before, and especially xSheWulfx, what you said before, that most parents don't pay attention to it. If they don't pay attention to it.
But see, that's the point.
That's true.
That's the point. The parents aren't paying attention. Plain and simple.
And if you're not,
so that's a whole nother conversation.
But this is my point, though. If they ain't paying attention now, they ain't gonna pay attention by putting a little stamp on a box.
Well,
not
everybody's like parents and
all them parents that took their kids to Deadpool without seeing that. I bet they pay attention now. You see what I'm saying? Like, parents will pay attention when they see their credit card bill go up $400. They'll get a refund, and then they'll just.
I think also like a lot of companies are taking notice, especially with like the whole loot box things, because you see a lot of them like don't even want to mention the word loot box, especially after the whole EA fiasco and stuff like that. They're kind of like, let's not even touch that right now, and kind of letting it die down. So hopefully, I think I hope it affects it more positively, and they kind of do away with a lot of that stuff.
Truthfully, I think it's just a way for like the government to be like, oh, let's find another way to tax things more so that we can make more money.
We spent a lot of time on that topic.
That's a big part of it. You know, greasing the palms here. You know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to move on to the next topic, guys. We got a ton of stuff to talk about, so I'm really interested to talk about this next one, actually. The next Battlefield is reported to be set in World War II. EA apparently decided years ago to move the franchise away from modern or future settings. I'm super stoked about this. I loved like the World War I setting in the Battlefield.
Is it going to be a ripoff of Call of Duty World War?
That's the thing, is are we going to become like oversaturated now of World War II?
That's what I mean. Like, why does it all... I swear, do all the companies like maybe come together and they're like, oh, hey, so we tried the future thing. It didn't work. So now all of us make a World War II game and see how that works. Like, why did they all come out with the same ideas?
Actually, it goes back to history. World War II is what made America a superpower. Plain and simple. All right.
It goes back to history.
It goes back to history.
It does. World War II made America a superpower.
Here's what I think. I think, like you said, they saturated the market with the futuristic thing, right? It got burnt out. It's played out. So now the old stuff's back in style. Give it a few years, I guarantee we're gonna have a futuristic shooter.
We need modern again.
Yeah, it just runs in cycles, and I miss modern stuff.
No, they need to do more Vietnam, Korean War, things that like.
I agree. I think those conflicts
wars, that's my point.
haven't been touched in
like they're just recycling a game.
Yeah, like if they're gonna do like World War II, let's do like some theaters that they haven't been doing in like World War II, like the Pacific and other stuff like that, instead of like the Band of Brothers.
Cool. I would like to see another Vietnam-based game, and I was really hoping that when they made their announcement that Battlefield was going to do a Vietnam-style game, because that would have been pretty cool. But go ahead.
That actually goes to just the quality of the game. I think that's the major thing. Is the game going to be good? Because I think no matter what setting it's in, if it's good, it's good. And I think that's just slapping a new paint on it. If it's shit, you cover it. It's still shit. Overall, you get bored with it over a while and be like, all right, this is a new coat of paint, but overall, it is what it is. I think the argument is making a better game, just like, Bad Company. People love that game. You know why? Because the shit had story. Yeah. It was good. It was an actually good game. That game, like my brother was playing it, he was like, man, forget that Call of Duty. Play this. I'm like, I'm not want to play that crappy ass. This it's not Call of Duty. Right. I end up playing it and I'm like, whoa, like my mind is like, wow, I can't really believe that this game is that good and it doesn't get as much, exposure as it should. So I think overall, like the issue is just the quality of these games, not necessarily just the setting. Because I'm telling you, you could put any setting in there. I mean, some is more appealing to others, but overall, it's just the quality of the game and what the game brings, what new things it brings, not just a coat of paint. Right. Like sports games or something.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't enjoy the Battlefield 1 multiplayer nearly as much as I enjoyed like Battlefield 4 or like Battlefield 3, or even like you guys are talking about Bad Company. Bad
Company was World War II, so you can't say if you like Bad Company, you're not going to like Battlefield going back to World War II.
No, I'm talking about Battlefield 1. I just didn't like the multiplayer, and I hope that they get back to I don't know. There's just I don't know. I feel the same thing like with you on it, but I just want to see their multiplayer get back to what I liked about the previous ones leading up to.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too, like Brewtal. Because
minus Hardline. Shout out Fred.
I think Battlefield, like I've never been like a big Battlefield guy either, because I just don't really like the huge multiplayer maps. I'm more of the COD guy. I like the run and gun kind of stuff instead of the Battlefield stuff. But I really think they knocked it out of the park with the World War I stuff. So going to World War II, I think they're going to do fine too.
Did anybody here play Battlefield 1942, like the first Battlefield game that ever came out?
No, I never played it, man.
No, you're on your own, Mike. Go ahead and tell us something.
Oh my God, you guys make me
educate us.
Anyway, so Battlefield 1942, based off of the year that it came out, that was a World War II game. So Battlefield, really, they're not going back to World War II. They're not, changing up the formula. They're going back to where they started. Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2, those were both World War II games. So, I mean, I'm excited to see them going back to this era, just like I was excited when I saw Call of Duty going back to World War II. I've missed those World War II shooters, so I'm looking forward to this, and it doesn't really seem like anybody else is.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, I am. It's just, just overall the quality just needs to be better. Just what, Battlefield 1 is so the illusion where you play the game and you play it for X amount of hours, like PUBG or something. Like I played it for 60 hours, and over a time, it's like I need something more. I need something. It's missing something, and that is the test of time. I normally, when I play multiplayer games, it's normally an hour, 100 hours. I mean, normally.
Oh, okay. You sit there saying like you played 60 hours, you got 60 hours into it, and now you're wanting something more. If I get 60 hours out of a game, that is a game that is money well spent.
yeah, no doubt. Especially $30. That's what I'm. But when I expect when I play a multiplayer game to get at least 100, and I think I got that from Battlefield 1. But it's rarely those games that go past the 100 mark for me, and that's right. What I'm looking for.
I try to put my finger on what makes me put that much time into a shooter game. I mean, you could put me on a dungeon crawler like Diablo, and I got thousands of hours in Diablo. But when I go back to like a shooter, the games that I think about when I go back to where I just couldn't get enough of that, Modern Warfare 2, and Halo 2, and I don't know what made me want to put that much time into it that I can say this is what I want to see in the next shooter that's gonna grip me. Because the last time I put a lot of time into it, believe it or not, was Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
And GKB, XSheWulfx, and myself grinded the shit out of that game. We played that game forever. Like so many hours put into that, and a lot of people hated it. And that game is nothing like Modern Warfare. It's not, it's real. Like the mechanics of it are nothing like Halo. So I don't know what makes me want to. I don't like quality is such a broad term. Like what's quality to you? Like quality is
all subjective.
I think quality is a objective statement to each gamer. So
yeah, for sure. Cool. I think we're all pretty much excited for Battlefield. Can't wait to see what they do with World War II.
Yo, remaster Medal of Honor. Can I see your papers, please?
Yeah, let's remaster another game.
This is the gen of remasters. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next topic. Exclusives going to Game Pass, a day and date. of releases. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I'll read a little bit from what Microsoft is saying. Moving forward, we plan to release all new Xbox One exclusive games for Microsoft Studios into Xbox Game Pass on the same date as their global release. This means that when Sea of Thieves launches on March 20th, it will be included in the Xbox Game Pass to all members. This plan is to bring new games timed with their global releases into Game Pass. Not only includes announced titles like Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and Crackdown 3, but future unannounced games from Microsoft Studios. What do you guys think?
Awesome.
I think it's awesome.
It's going to save me so much money.
I think it's awesome for the players. I think we're going to need to give it some time to see how awesome it is for the company, and I think we'll get a good idea of how awesome it is to if they continue with it or not after a year or two, or to see what kind of state it's in a year. I mean, it's brand new, so
Yeah.
it's awesome. Like, seeing a library full of games that you can play is really cool, but I think that having day ones and stuff like that is going to be big for it, because I think giving somebody just a bunch of old games that they can play, that a lot of I think it's good for kids. I mean, really, it's good for all gamers. It's good for parents. It's an affordable way to keep your
good family program
kids
for sure.
Playing through different games, get them exposed to different stuff if they want to play, figure out what they like. It's good marketing for Xbox to get their titles out there on day one. Make it way more accessible. I mean, there's tons of families that can't afford to pay that much money for a game.
Yeah,
but if they want to give their kid a Game Pass for a month and pay for that, that's definitely a good move for the gamer. But as far as for the company, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's my big concern too, is what's it going to do for the company overall, because like you were saying, for the gamer, it's great. It's going to be great for me because, I was planning on buying Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, Forza Horizon 4. That's 4 games at $60 a pop. I'm looking at $240. Now I can get $100 a year worth of Game Pass, and I have all those games all year round. My big worry is, how is this going to impact the development studios and Microsoft as far as the revenue that they're going to bring in? I'm sure that they have all kind of analytics. They know that this is going to work out for them, that it's going to create some sort of windfall that we can't see, because you are getting rid of the game trade-ins when it comes to the first month buyers that trade it in, and other people buy it for like reduced price that the developer never sees any money for. But when it comes to like Sea of Thieves, I see that as a risk for Rare, because it's very different from any game they've ever made. So that game's going to come out. Let's say people play it for 1 month. They pay $10 to play it. How is that going to allow Rare to continue to develop content if people drop it after the first month?
Microtransactions. No, I see what you're saying, but are you going to have the game in that library forever? What if they give you the game, brand new games, for 30 days? Now you tested it out for 30 days. Say you like the game. Would you go out and buy it?
Well, I thought they already said that the Microsoft exclusives would stay in the Game Pass
for the whole eternity.
I don't think they ever actually specified for how long.
No, I don't know if that's for sure or not, but I know like they definitely said like they would move games in and out. I don't know how long they would stay in.
I honestly think that they're going to keep it for a short time, get you wanting to play that game,
on it, and then go and buy it.
Want you to continue on with that game, and then move it to like, oh, we got to download, and now you got to buy the game and get the downloads.
Yeah,
like,
I think this is like a next step into games as a service for like Microsoft, because I definitely think that's where gaming's headed to, is more of a service-based thing than maybe having a full-on blown console in your house and buying games and stuff like that. I think definitely they want to start moving in that direction, and I think Game Pass is a good way to introduce that to people slowly, so they get into Game Pass, start doing it month after month, and then it just becomes the next thing, and then the next Xbox comes out, say it's just like a little Roku box, and you're just streaming games at that point, and you're all cool with it because you've already been doing it for this long. Anyways, so
I could see them doing it as like a tiered system eventually, right? Mm-hmm. So you have like all of your older like BC games, whatever you want to like. You have a huge collection, like your Netflix. 90% of Netflix is shitty. There's like B-list, C-list movies that you've never heard of. Stuff that even Lifetime wouldn't want to play, but then you have you got a couple like heavy hitters that come out, right? And like back in the day, Netflix had tiered subscriptions where like you could have different you could pay a different amount of money and have different access to different content. And I think, like you said, GKB, this is a good rollout. This is a good pilot program. Let's see how the pilot does. And then we'll see in the future. I could see them leaving the exclusives on indefinitely, but you're paying a higher premium price to have that access to those games.
Yeah.
So I think that would be awesome to see games as a service to where you're streaming everything. And the way that the computing power that we have now and the increased internet speeds, the accessibility to high-speed internet to everybody I think it's just inevitable before we actually see it. So
yeah, I think we're a few years away, but I think definitely it's moving in that direction for sure.
I hope it's at least 10 more years before game streaming becomes a thing.
Why?
Well, mostly because of the like when it comes down to input lag. Like, I mean, I've got pretty good internet speeds, but I know somebody that lives 20 miles down the road who has crap internet speeds and they don't offer anything better. So if he wants to game and all that they have is game streaming, then he's going to be shit out of luck when he's playing an online multiplayer game.
I thought it was because you missed Blockbuster, Mike. My bad.
I worked at Hollywood Video, so that is.
I worked at Blockbuster, bro.
No, I think that's like the biggest roadblock right now is what Mike was saying is like just everybody having the internet speeds to deal with the lag and all that kind of stuff and the latency and all that stuff. I think that's the biggest hurdle right now. But as soon as they work that out and everybody has the speeds and they can get that all done, I mean, and let's be honest here, like. Microsoft brought Mixer, and yeah, they are promoting the shit out of Mixer and trying to make it like a good service, but they also bought it for that tech, that low latency stuff that Mixer is doing. And those
that
guys,
FTL, baby.
Yeah, because they took those guys and they threw them right onto the engineering team, and they're like, yeah, you guys are going to come over here and start doing this other stuff. And I could definitely see a few years down the road that this is going to be a thing.
I mean, if they want to make that a realistic future, then they need to implement the FTL on the Xbox streaming for Mixer, because right now, if you're streaming directly from your Xbox console, you don't get that FTL when it comes to the chat interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest hurdle is like once they get all that figured out and it's on everything, like the next step is, hey, everything's a service.
But it's not even just that though. Like the thing about Game Pass is, as long as Microsoft is paying these AAA titles to be on there, because obviously we know their sales are going to get hit by this. No matter what we do, their sales are going to
I think hit. Like the individual sales for the game is going to get hit.
Yes.
But I think their service plan for Game Pass is definitely
going to go up, yes.
As probably Xbox Live as well, because you need that to do the Game Pass thing.
Yeah, which is why I think like as long as Microsoft, because they are owned by Microsoft, these companies with the AAA titles that are going in there are owned by Microsoft. So obviously these companies don't have to sit there and worry about, oh, well, am I actually going to be covered or am I really losing out here? We don't know the behind the scenes transactions that are going on. For all we know, Microsoft could have paid them more money to put it into this Game Pass.
Well, I think that's what Brewtal was saying, like the pilot, and I was saying like the pilot program right now is like if they put these new games in and they're doing well and they have a high player base, I think that's going to be setting the tone for other developers out there and being like, hey, this is actually a good thing. Let's start putting our games on there and as well selling physical and all that kind of stuff. I think like developers and stuff need to put their games on everything they possibly can. To make up these huge budgets and stuff that they're putting into these games. Like, that's the only way they're seriously going to start making some money.
Along that avenue, I don't want this to turn into another, like, Play Anywhere situation because, a year ago we were seeing all these Play Anywhere games come out. We had Resident Evil 7, all the first-party games that were Play Anywhere. And now, how much do you hear about Play Anywhere games that aren't first-party?
Yeah, that's true. And I love to Play Anywhere. I think that's a great program too. I hope they.
I think it's amazing, but it doesn't seem like enough people cared about it.
Yeah,
it's a great program, but they need to like push it and instead of introducing something and then just letting it autopilot itself.
They just need to integrate it with Steam. That's what they need.
I think
that's it right there.
They cut their losses and just integrate it with Steam. Just the Windows Store, you hear everything.
That's the biggest thing.
I'm having issues. I'm pretty sure like 90% of people that play on PC have that issue. They just need to integrate it with Steam. Like Steam is like, I didn't want to be one of those, people like, oh my God, Steam, and whatever his name is,
Gabe.
Gabe, just like, passing out, but it is really awesome. The fact that you're selling microtransactions and, I got this little thing from PUBG. I forgot what event it was, but I sold it. I made like $5 off of it. Like little cool things like that. Yeah. And plus how the system is robust, is there. So it's like, it's common sense. It's just, unless they're making some other type of a better financial game from Windows Store, which I don't really think I'm not sure. Like we have to know behind the scenes their data, like what's going on. We would have to know.
I would be fair to bet that the Windows Store is not doing anything that Steam's doing it currently, like not even close. So yeah, I totally, they should just look. We tried, we gave it our best effort. Steam, help us out and like just get this done. I think
why do they got to reach out to Steam for help? Why don't they just buy Steam? You know, they got the pocketbook to do it.
I mean, that's.
And then you got like half of Steam users just cut this. You know, they're like, I'm not using Steam anymore. Yeah, Microsoft hands on it, even though I use Windows. Oh God.
Yeah, they'll be going to some other thing.
I think you'd have to pay Valve a lot of fucking money to buy Steam.
They paid out the ass for that for sure. For sure. They'd probably be able to buy Valve, but they wouldn't buy Steam. Gabe would be like, nah, I ain't selling that. No way.
Think so?
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. That was a good topic, guys. New Xbox update adds new features and improves others. So what we got is Xbox One X supports 1440p resolution. We got some updates to Mixer. Streamers will be able to use the Xbox One controller to help the streamer out in his games or cause some chaos, which I actually really like on Mixer with the other interaction stuff that they do. Microsoft Edge browser, and we'll just leave it at that. Don't really care. Edge is terrible. You have the option to selectively balance game audio against background music with the guide. The system sounds have been all updated too in this insider build. Oh, that's the other thing, guys. It's kind of insider build right now, but it'll be rolling out to you. And the sounds really screwed me up when I first started. I was like, what the hell is that? What's going on here? Clubs have been getting some new filters and stuff as well, so you'll be able to, filter out like criteria, including reputation, gamer score, and all that kind of stuff for people you want to add. You will soon be able to sort your club feeds to show what's hot in top posts, kind of like a trending thing, which is cool. And tournaments are now available directly in Game Hub, so you don't have to go be a member of a club or anything to join any of those tournaments. I think the coolest thing on here is 1440p resolution support. I really dig that. It's like one of the most popular resolutions out there, especially like on PC, because they have some great, 144 hertz 1440p monitors. And I wish, instead of Xbox pushing this whole 4K resolution shit, they push that 1440p 60 FPS ultra settings, because I think it totally would have been way fucking better than what they're doing right now. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about the rest of this?
But hey, man, you can pay a fucking 10-year-old game with slightly updated graphics now, so.
Well, okay. So my biggest thing about the 1440p is I swear before the Xbox One X even released, they said that super sampling was going to work with 1080p, 1440p, 1800p, whatever monitor you had. The Xbox One X was going to give you the best experience. So if you're only just now starting to support 1440p, like I understand it's super sampling to 1440 and not like 1080 upscale to 1440 or whatever.
Right.
But before the Xbox One X came out, you made it sound like it was going to support 1440p resolution.
I totally agree, Mike. I'm not going to argue that.
Mike got some bass in his voice on that one.
As for the controller share thing,
yeah.
First off, it's not actually out when it was supposed to be out.
Well, you're the whole partner over there at Mixer thing. You know all that stuff. I don't know any of that crap.
Well, we got an update telling us, oh, hey, guess what? It ain't out yet.
We're not worthy.
We're like, oh, okay, so we're all expecting to get like the, because we're the one of the first.
But to be fair though, on Mixer, when they do that controller stuff, like they have a whole game and channels like devoted to viewers just playing the game and beating the game and seeing how long it takes them. And I think that's really freaking cool. Like a bunch of people getting together and beating a game with the interactive functions on Mixer. That's really awesome.
It's cool. Like the idea is neat, but so okay. One of the examples that they used for this whole controller share thing was Cuphead. So now what this will do is it will allow you to actually control the buttons. So press A, press B. The only thing you won't be allowed to touch is the guide button, so you can't actually like take them home or anything like that. So you don't have access to that. But if you're trying to like fight those bosses and you're getting to the point where you're really close, and if someone turns around and just like pops in and presses A, you're screwed.
That's pretty funny though.
It's definitely going to be one of those ones. If you're a rager, do not activate this.
I mean, if you're
thing.
activating it, you should know that going in at that point.
Yeah,
if you're going in and being like,
people,
all my viewers are gonna be like helping me out, like you're kind of naive at that point.
I think some people do though. I think some people are like, oh hey, I'm gonna go into this expecting for people to just run me through and I'll be good to go. But then in the end, you'll have people kind of like running in one way, going a different way, killing something, and then you getting killed so you have to be prepared. It is going to give them a lot of variety to do with your controller, and it's going to definitely be insane. Like, for instance, one of the past features that they had was obviously the interactive board where you could interact with games. Like, Hello Neighbor was a very good one. Every time someone tried, I actually used it, and every time I would try to, run around and avoid the neighbor, someone would hit the button and alert him. So I was like, oh, god damn it.
I think it's funny and entertaining.
It is funny. I don't mind it. I'm one of those gamers. I don't care. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It's kind of how it is.
Trolls are going to come out for that.
They are. You know what they're going to get me on? I'm going to be trying to climb or do a jumping puzzle, and they're going to jump me off the edge just to see me fall, and then you'll see me rage because I'll be like,
because you hate jumping puzzles.
I hate jumping puzzles, but I won't put it on for games like that.
Nice.
I'll probably be
what does everybody else think about these updates? Anything entertaining?
Apparently quietly.
So. Well, personally, I'm going to tell you, if they come out with the 1440, we'll see. Because like Mike said, they made Xbox One X made it seem like it was going to work on everything, and it didn't. And for the people like myself that was a sucker, we fell for it. But I'll see when it happens. The only thing I don't like is this, personally, is this whole you can choose who you can play with their gamer score, all that stuff. I feel, and mark my words, tonight, 8:50, March 5th, 2018. Watch.
Wow.
There are going to be some whiny-ass parents saying their kids are getting cyberbullied because they can't play a video game with people because their score's not good enough. Or it's just like being the fat kid and trying to play basketball, and he's the last one picked.
I'm going to sound like a little insensitive, but I say this to everybody on the panel, and it's called get good at the fucking game.
Yeah, get good.
Yeah, but if you're just starting out at the game, you're not going to be good.
Well, you should know that you're not going to be excellent at the game when you first start off. You have to put your time in.
But here's the problem. There's states that are starting to put things on cyberbullying that'll make it a felony or a misdemeanor.
Have you been
really?
Have you been bullied?
Well, depending on if the kid kills themselves or not, but that's a different story.
Oh man, I ain't doing that.
Wow.
You just had to bring down the
Don't let's not make it dark because look, man, the whole school shootings, they're blaming it on video games. So this is just another step. It's another step towards controlling everything we say. We're all going to be told to be like robots and smile and be like, hi.
That's kind of always like that. I mean, when you put yourself in a public in public, you have to kind of filter yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's
really.
Yeah, I mean, we wear clothes and stuff. I mean, part of it, to keep our body temperatures right, but we know the real reason is social reasons,
Is it because
somebody might see something, be like, whoa, what's
GKB just told me to keep my shirt on before the show started.
Exactly the point.
So we're doing it as a society standard just to be like, okay, but watch. Parents are going to complain. There's gonna be some.
Oh my God! There's always somebody that complains.
Yeah, everybody's going to complain.
Yeah, but they're going to make a bigger deal out of it than you even know.
Oh, it's going to be some 20-year-old who just sucks at the game is going to complain.
Right.
All over YouTube. Oh my God, they're picking on me. Yeah, because you suck.
Look, I'm 40 and I'm barely good. So I don't care.
So you're a perfect example.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to some really cool stuff that I think Brewtal really wants to talk about. Back Compat continues to grow with 4 new X-enhanced games.
Oh, awesome!
And now you have the choice if you want to play it in performance mode or graphics mode. Yeah, let's get into this. I definitely played Fable Anniversary on the X Enhanced. It does look cleaner and all that other kind of stuff. But I've seen a lot on like social media being like, this game looks like better games than like currently right now. I'm gonna call you on your bullshit. No, the fuck
no, that ain't right.
You're fucking crazy, because that is not even the truth. Like Forza Horizon, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic game, but it does not look better than Forza Horizon 2 and or Forza Horizon 3. It did what it did. It looks much better. It's a cleaner looking game for sure, but it's nothing compared to the new ones. Sorry, guys. Just got to keep it real with you.
Dude, it's complete. Oh, I'm trying to like keep myself civil here because this whole backwards compat craze drives me crazy.
It does
like,
to me too, man.
Good God, dude.
I think it's a great feature, but who's gonna fucking sit there and play when you got all these fucking new games, bro? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Who cares about, like, I see people like losing their tits over oh, Crackdown 1's back. Look how cool it looks, guys. Oh, look how it used to look. Look how it looks now. Fuck yeah. Let's go play an old ass game. Like, what are we doing?
All right now.
What are we doing? Pick up a go get a
nice.
No, dude, I'm heated, bro, because it's just, I mean, to each their own. I'm never gonna like, I'm not, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not hating on anybody in particular. I'm just saying, like, I guess it's just me. I don't get the whole like super craze and going crazy over having a game that's so old just because it looks a little bit better. It's the same game.
Exactly.
Dude, it drives me nuts, bro.
Delilah says you're killing trees. Where's your wait, what was exactly how she said it?
Where's my tablet?
Yeah,
I'll have it next week.
Where's the media device?
I'm sorry, I'm killing trees.
I had to read it. I thought
I'm
it was
old
funny.
school, okay? A paper.
Walter Cronkite.
Walter Cronkite.
So old school.
Yeah. Good, Mike. Go ahead.
I don't see any problem with remastering old games. If you're going to do Xbox One X updates to old games and 360 games, that's all fine, because the way I see it, you're introducing that game to a new generation of gamers that have never experienced that. And if they go and boot up like Fable Anniversary and it's, you know, the original Xbox 360 game, which it didn't look bad, so maybe these updates aren't really necessary, but you know, kids nowadays, they're going to see that and be like, no, I'm going to go back and play Fortnite because it just got the new 4K update for the Xbox One X. So being able to get my kids to go back and play old games and have them not look as crummy as they did when I played them, I think that's a good thing. Even my son this weekend, he was watching me play Turok and he was interested in that. But making a big deal out of it, saying that Crackdown 1 with the new Xbox One update, Xbox One X update, looks better than current games coming out. You know,
that's insane. That's insane.
Blowing, like PS4 exclusive out of the water. No, they're not.
In some areas, maybe in some areas, probably. I don't know. I'm trying to help.
What area?
You're trying,
that's like saying, like, check out the new enhanced Pong. It's so much fun.
Yeah, right? It's still Pong at the end of the day, for sure. Exactly.
My whole thing about like them bringing enhanced games. Yes, okay, that is cool and all that they're bringing these games back. And yes, I do agree with Mike about the aspect of, you know, the younger generations can see these games. However, there's so many games coming out nowadays. When do you really have time? And again, sorry to say, but kids are not like, kids don't sit there and look, oh my God, there's a 360 game that is now enhanced. They don't know what the heck enhanced, like.
We've said this like multiple podcasts that we've been doing throughout the years and stuff like that. Like, I think back compat is a cool feature. You can play your games and whatever you want to. So if you got like those old Mass Effects that you play the yearly and all that's really cool. Granted, I don't care. Going forward, like She-Wolf said, I don't have time to play these old games. If I didn't play them back then, I'm not going to fucking play them now.
There's too many games coming out.
But have you ever watched a 10-year-old, 12-year-old kid now try to play Super Mario 3? It's hilarious, bro. They're so confused, man. You give them 4 buttons. They're like, what do I do? And it's like, don't worry. You just got to jump, push forward. It's not that. Man, they freak out, bro. Well, I like that. That's gold right there.
10-year-old has no problems with it.
Yeah, my kids.
Even beyond that, I think the biggest benefit that backwards compatibility lends to gaming right now is to bring these old franchises to the current generation of gamers and reinvigorate the publishers by seeing these old games sell again. If they see like, hey, this game sold another, you know, even if it's only 10,000 copies. Yeah, 10,000 copies, you know, 10 years after the game originally released. That's a huge thing. So that's going to allow them to make sequels if they, have the budget for it, and hopefully
siphon filter.
Again,
everybody wants siphon filter, bro.
Again, though, it's a cool idea, but at the same time, I don't think games that we would a lot of us want sequels to really get as much attention because of the fact that there is so many games and they are gorgeous. Like, they're making games bigger and better and more things that you're able to do in them. Like The Witcher 3, you have Recore, you have look at Shadow of the Colossus. Like, that was an old game that they brought back. People are like, I didn't play the old one, but I'm not the only one that actually complains about the friggin' game mechanics to it either. They're like, wait, why did you keep this?
Well, it's a hard thing to you're talking about remix and stuff now.
But that's my point, though. They've worked on they've worked on game mechanics to make them better, to improve them. But old games still have those same old problems that people didn't actually like. So even though a game looks gorgeous, doesn't mean they're still going to enjoy it because of the fact it still has the same
Blasphemy,
aspect.
She-Wolf. Shadow of the Colossus is fantastic. Just because you can't do jumping puzzles, don't rag on that game.
It has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it at all.
No, I totally get what you're saying.
That kind of goes back to the Battlefield thing. It looks gorgeous, but then the game mechanics, it could get kind of stale. Maybe, that's the major thing.
And I totally agree with you, Sith, on that. But it's like one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't things for the developers, right? Like, look at Halo 5, for instance. Like, they changed some stuff in the campaign. People lost their freaking mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, gamers at one point will be like, I totally want something new. And then developers do it, and then they're like, I didn't really ask for that. Like, what are you doing? You screwed up the game, Gamers are so fickle, bro.
Backwards compatibility is the equivalent of getting one of those rolled out stamped pennies at the zoo. It's a freaking novelty, dude. It's a novelty that some people, if you want to jump back on, I saw somebody, Lunch Bizzle in the chat said that he likes having the BC games because it's cool to play them back to back and to see where a series started and playing up to the newest one coming out. That's kind of cool, getting a refresher. I completely agree with that, especially if it's a chronological continuation of the games, like Gears, for example, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to dust out the old consoles and all that kind of
it's a cool idea when you have that, but when you have games that are single titles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see all these games that are coming out with back compatibility. I mean, more power to them if they want to let their people play, but I just don't get the crazy excitement over it that I see. My Twitter feed is flooded with people spamming that they're so excited about a game being backwards compatible. I'm gonna play this game all night.
And now people want OG Xbox, so they're going even farther back into the graphics and stuff like that.
I played some OG Xbox lately, and they're a little rough.
Yeah,
they're a little rough, guys.
I would say what it does do is it adds more value to games with gold, because now we're getting more games per month on one console, as opposed to what we see where we've seen with PlayStation Plus. They have the PS3 games, they have the PS Vita games, they have the PS4 games, but you have to own that specific piece of hardware to take advantage of those games that they're offering. So even though the Xbox 360 games that you get on Games with Gold may not have value for you, that doesn't mean they don't hold value for me. Take this month, March. Games with Gold, I can admit that it's not the greatest games with gold for the month there, but Brave, the Xbox 360 game, that's not a game for me. That's not a game for the hardcore gamer. But for my 6-year-old daughter, that is a great game for her to have. And now I'm getting that game for free. I don't have to scour GameStop to go play it. She's excited to play it. She saw it on the dashboard, and she was asking me, Daddy, can I get that game? And I was like, you already have it. Guess what? Here it is.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. That's the perfect example for back and
I agree with that aspect.
Well,
Games with Gold is a great feature. But when you get games I love Alice Madness Returns, but I'm actually going to kind of hate on it for a minute here. You go to a store and that game is still $30 to buy that game, and it's okay, this is a 5-6-year-old game. I think it's older than that now. Mm-hmm. Maybe possibly 6, because it was a 360 game, and you're still charging $30 for this game. Like, yes, there's a lot of it has
But is that
had
a
a lot of
GameStop issue, or is that like a
no? That's actually in store. Like, that's actually if
GameStop though.
No, I mean like on the
Okay.
Xbox store.
Oh, on the
It's
Xbox store,
actually
okay.
like it's still like $20
Gotcha.
or friggin' $30 on the Xbox store. Unless you're lucky and you get it when it's on like one of the back compat sales and stuff like that, it's still full price. Now, I think that's where my issue kind of comes into some of these games is just the fact of pricing wise. Like, why are they still being charged so much?
And they jump in price too when they go to
yes,
back
when
compat.
they go back compat.
I agree.
Sometimes they actually jump
Price
in price.
gouging people.
So that's my only real issue. Like, you want to bring them, that's cool. There is a lot of amazing games that were on 360. I just don't think you should pretty much price them at full prices when you're still bringing back an old game that isn't actually fully.
One other thing I want to touch on this whole back compat thing before we move on to the next topic is the graphics and the performance thing that you get to choose. I don't really understand why they say performance, because if the game was like 30 FPS and it ran like that on the 360, it's not going to do anything else on the
No,
Xbox
I agree.
One.
I mean, you're gonna. Who's
They
buying
should
the
just call it
Xbox
like
One X
original
for-
mode or something like that, and then like X enhanced mode or something like that. I really don't understand the performance like thing, because it really doesn't do anything besides your. And like Digital Foundry did a couple of things, and it's even playing at the old resolutions like 720p and all that kind of stuff too. So just put it original. Don't say performance, because it's not performance enhanced. I mean, it might run a little bit better than it did because it's on powerful more hardware, but other than that, like, just stop it. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We killed that one to death. Let's move to some Nintendo news.
Told you you'd forget.
Outlast secretly drops on the Switch with its bundle of terror. This bundle includes the original game and the Whistleblower DLC. Outlast is really good.
I'm excited because I can sit on I can have all the lights off, sitting on the couch, wrapped up in a blanket, playing really close and playing freaking Outlast. It's gonna be so cool. Other than the fact that it's a really tiny screen.
Well, you can put it on the big.
I know you can put it on the dock and you can have it, but when you're the whole purpose I find for the Switch is the fact you want the small handheld part of it. You want to be able to sit somewhere and play. You want if I'm gonna play a game on the a big screen, I'm just gonna play it on my Xbox. I don't need to have it on the Switch to be able to. But it is amazing for Nintendo players. The fact that they're getting more and more third-party games.
Yes, that's what
that is outstanding. Yep. Just because these games, regardless if you don't have an Xbox or PlayStation, they're amazing games.
The other thing about that too is Outlast itself is a pretty gruesome game, and being on the Nintendo Switch, which is Nintendo's been very, kid-oriented kind of stuff like that, and for them to get these kind of games on there is, speaking loudly to Nintendo.
They're stepping out of their comfort zone with family-oriented games to mature games.
Yeah, I mean, Doom's on there now. That's crazy.
I think that's a good move for Nintendo though, to introduce a couple more, a little more. I mean, they're not going to lose their
player base,
their fan base and their player base that's dedicated to the quote unquote Nintendo style game,
Yeah.
But it's just going to bring more people in. And Outlast is a good game too, man.
Yeah.
That's what Nintendo needs to do to bring back gamers like me who have moved away from Nintendo because they have the kiddie style games. Bringing back the mature games, like Doom coming to the Nintendo Switch, that really makes me reevaluate whether or not I want to get a Switch.
Right.
And now Outlast, seeing the third-party support for the Switch, that's a great thing.
And that was a big up in the air thing when the Switch launched. Was are they going to have the third-party support? Because with Wii U didn't have hardly anything.
Right.
And now you're seeing every day some new game coming out that's third-party, and Bethesda and all them are hey, we're pretty much going to put all our games on the Switch and all that kind of stuff.
Which I don't remember who it was. Somebody was sitting there telling us that the Switch is sold out everywhere. Yeah, no, it's not.
Well, it comes in stock. Our GameStop did get some.
Yeah,
for sure.
our GameStop had some, so it's kind of no, don't say it's sold out because they
are hard to get. They're still hard to get.
They're still hard to get, but they're not sold out everywhere. So
you gotta find them, people. You gotta be on that.
You can
that
do
list.
it. Yeah. You can do it, but it's awesome though. I'm happy to see them do it. I want to see Diablo 3 come. That it's supposed to be coming. That's rumored to be coming, and then Fortnite is rumored. That one I'm still kind of wondering how that whole thing's gonna work, but they are still, you know, they're opening up to more multiplayer games. They are opening up to more third-party games, and
I think
really
what's helping a
happy
lot
for
of that
Nintendo
too,
to
though,
do that.
is Nintendo is fucking selling like hotcakes. Like everybody wants a Switch, and they're like just crushing sales
Because
right
you
now.
can take it on the go. It's a tablet.
Well, not only that, but like developers are looking at that and being like, they're probably hesitant at first and being like, well, we don't know what you're gonna do, Nintendo. We don't know how this is gonna play out.
Yeah.
And now they're seeing like the fan reaction, and everybody's just grabbing it like when it comes in stores, and it's just sold out like all the time.
Yeah.
Like developers like, yes, we're gonna make our games, and we're gonna port them over there.
Well, is it sold out all the time because of the fact that it's selling a lot, or is it because they only like actually put like 1 or 2 in?
Well,
like,
we're gonna jump into that next topic here in a minute. But any other things on the Outlast before we move on? Nope. All right, moving on to the next one. Sources say that Nintendo is not planning a Switch 2.0. They will get by on their peripherals. Nintendo, shocking news. Like, you don't need to do shit right now. Just pump out more Switches. That's all you need to freaking do. You
don't even need peripherals now.
Yeah.
Well, what I read into this was we're not going to do a Switch 2.0, but that doesn't mean we're not going to do a new Switch like they did the new 3DS.
Yeah,
Right.
and whatever. I mean, they don't even need to do that, honestly. Like, they could just sit there and just like, hey, everybody make games for us, and we're going to sell like a fucking shit ton.
Yeah, don't fix what ain't broken, man.
Yeah, the only thing they might do is make it bigger, like the XL version, but
Yeah, bigger screen or something.
that's the only
it like a
complaint I'm hearing
10-inch
about it.
Make a 10-inch tablet instead of a 7-inch tablet.
And then have like 2-hour battery life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You turn it on, it's like, oh, it's dead. Oh, dang.
I'm like, oh, the battery's
They-
dead already. Oh,
When it
wow.
comes to the battery, I don't understand why they can't seem to get it to like a cell phone style battery that actually lasts for at least a good
I
amount
mean, I think
of
that's what's
hours.
in it. Like,
It's because of the screen size.
No,
I
that's
kinda-
not the case though, because tablets have the same size, can play games and all that kind of stuff, and guess what? Tablets can still hold more and still last longer in lifespan than the
well,
Switch does.
you got to make it do something bad so you can sell all those peripherals and accessories and
well,
everything
yeah, I
else.
guess.
But let's
So-
sell some more cardboard to kids that don't know any better.
But overall, like, I don't think they need to come up with a 2.0. There's nothing
How are they going to do that?
wrong-
Like, how are they going to do that anyway? Like, they literally cannot keep up with demand right now. So they're going to introduce another one that they can't keep in demand.
Says the person who wanted both NES Classic and SNES.
I still
they
need to get
did
the
it too.
SNES.
You know, Walmart has them again, by
I know,
the
I
way.
want to get that shit.
But other than that, it still comes down to that's what they do, though. They make so many, constantly have them sell out, and then either A, stop making.
So you think Nintendo is just like doing it to just keep the demand?
But it does. Do you not
I mean,
want
they've
it
done it in the
more
past.
because it's sold out? Like, that's the funny part is people want what they can't get. People want what they can't have. And when you sell out because you literally only release a couple, people want it more. So when it does actually finally release, you think you're getting something extremely
that's part of it,
special
but I think-
because you got one.
I think that's part of it, but I think Nintendo has some really iconic IPs here that people just love and adore, like Zelda Breath
Well,
of the
no,
Wild,
they do.
like fucking game of the year, like
Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey is
That game
fantastic.
is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh
that's a
my
fantastic
god.
game. So I think they're gonna do well, especially this year if they can knock out some more of those iconic IPs and stuff. I think they're gonna do even better.
I won't get it until it has backwards compatibility.
That virtual console, man, they're working on it. They're working on it.
Once
That
Metroid
would
comes
help,
out,
though. That
sell
would help.
consoles.
I agree.
Yeah.
They need a VR now.
How they,
Oh,
I guess you could put the Switch in like
No.
the face mask or something, like they do with the phones or something.
Technically, they could. It's big enough. They put 7-inch
Yo,
tablets.
VR
into-
is the shit, people.
Yo, can
Oh,
you
God,
imagine
no.
sliding
Love
the Switch into like a cardboard VR headset? You'd be walking
They're
around
gonna do.
like,
They're
Yeah.
totally gonna do
I can't
that. That
see.
Lobo stuff. They're totally gonna do that.
They are.
That's the next like iteration is gonna have like a VR one for sure. Absolutely.
Would you imagine playing Zelda or friggin' Mario Odyssey in like VR? That'd be
Yeah,
insane.
like 2 frames a second and like a whole bunch of jaggies. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
nice, dude.
that's what I
Nice,
want to see.
bro.
I'm pretty
Whoa.
Uh,
Like moving from 4K to like
Oh
yeah, that's
my god, that was awesome, Sith.
Wow.
That was good, dude. All right, let's go ahead and move on to some PlayStation news. PlayStation introduces My PlayStation, a new social destination on the web. So I logged into this. I was checking it out. It's really just a bare bones website. You can chat, find your friends, look at your trophies, and other than that, it's really just a plain web interface kind of thing. Just your basic website.
Wait, what?
Nothing super fantastic. That My PlayStation thing that you log in with your PSN, the thing they launched to take on the Xbox app and whatever Nintendo's doing right now. It works. Like you can chat. You can.
Yeah, we call that Xbox Live. I don't know what they're from. Well, I'm glad they came out of the darkness and came up with another app. Surprising for Sony though, being that the Japanese market and applications are massive money makers there.
True.
I just don't understand, why did they get rid of PS Home so that they could start up this new service?
I don't really know. I think everybody liked PS Home.
Probably because that's how the people were hacking into PlayStation and shutting it down.
Oh.
Or people's accounts being hacked and all that kind of stuff.
That was all happening in the Home thing? That's crazy. I'm glad I never used that.
It's amazing how much that damage and back then is affecting today, because there's a lot of people out there that's afraid to put their credit card information on there. But I trust my bank, so I'm like, here, take my credit card. I get my alert.
PayPal.
They give my money back. So
exactly,
it doesn't matter when the credit agency just leaks all your information, anyways.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Good job of it
you want this person's phone number? Yeah, I'm getting scam calls. Nice,
Because when they're getting your social and everything else anyway, so they're getting more than what they'd get from PlayStation.
Not with me, bro. They getting
10. Yeah, well, Tim still pays with cash for lunch at work. So.
Look, man, old school ways never
He
change.
walks in there with that giant piggy bank and just cracks it open. Here we go, guys.
Listen,
We're buying
I'll tell you right now.
Turkey dinner.
I won't use credit cards until I have backwards compatibility on cash. Okay.
Compatibility? What?
Oh my god.
What is that? Is that even a thing?
Bro, can you just say stuff that makes sense once in a while, please?
That's not gonna happen.
No, not at all, bro.
I love it.
So, my PlayStation, it needs some work. It needs some updates. We need to get it a little more vibrant in there, guys. But it's functional. I'll give it that.
What?
It's functional.
I mean, it's a
In another year that My PlayStation is going to be an app for the PSVR, and everyone's going to be in their online apartment and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be great.
Yo, PSVR is the jam.
I like VR.
Yep.
Yeah, how you guys been liking that?
Dude, I've been enjoying the crap out of it, actually, man. I played through the whole Batman. That Star Child was really good on the demo disc.
Oh my god, you want to hear something funny? So, in the Batman, there's an elevator thing, and GKB's like, you have to do this one part. I hate elevators. I hate elevators because they always make me feel really woozy because, when you're, going down an elevator. And he's like, oh, you have to do this. You have to do this. I'm like, no, I hate elevators. And he's like, no, it's really cool. I put it on, and I literally start feeling really... And it's a long elevator ride.
Makes you feel like you're moving.
It's not even a short elevator ride. It's a long elevator ride.
Yeah, that's
and
the
I'm,
whole game.
Standing on one foot, and it, made me even more... Yeah, it didn't help. But it was funny, though.
That Rush of Blood, too, that I played from the guys who did that other Until Dawn or whatever it is. That was a really fun game. You're, on this roller coaster going through this carnival, and it's like a shooter. It's on rails and all that kind of stuff. That one's really fun. I never got sick on any of the VR stuff. I thought I probably would on that roller coaster one, but no, it was actually really.
I am depressed about one thing though. Now I do really I love the aspect of it, and I love that it actually immerses you into the game. However, one of my number one favorite games is Resident Evil 7, and we got that game. But I don't like the fighting mechanics at all. Because when you're when you need to move fast, you can't, because you literally have to move, but at the same time it's a click move.
Yeah.
So you're trying to click it to move your person around to see where they're coming from, because they're still moving at full speed.
Yeah.
But you're not. That's where my issue came in.
I think VR in general is a good beta testing right now. I think it still needs some work, especially games like that, because Doom VR. is its own experience as well. It's not based off the original game.
Yeah.
But you also do that jumping around, teleporting, and you're not doing the standard like controller moves and stuff like that. It takes a bit to get used to, and can be jarring at times and take you out of the immersion. So
here's a quick question from Delilah. Do you all have any of the PC headsets?
I've tried the Oculus. I don't have it. But after playing the PSVR, I'd be definitely interested. The price point has to be right for us, but
that's the only thing is price point.
To get into that,
because I know Delilah has
the Vive's new updated one with the higher resolution and like the 4 things to make it more an immersive experience. Looks really cool.
Do any of you guys on the panel have a VR of any sort?
I was thinking about it, but then the cost of graphics cards went up by like 300%. So I don't know if I can afford one right now.
Yeah, it's a little tough in that market right now.
Thanks, Bitcoin.
Right.
Anthony says, "Is that a Dreamcast I see behind GKB?"
That is a Dreamcast with Sonic right there next to it.
Yeah, it's just a little bright, but it's there.
Yeah, it's a little blown out. Sorry, guys. But yep, that's a Dreamcast. We also have one boxed in the other room too.
Yeah.
Not opened. Let's go ahead and go on to the next PlayStation topic, which is kind of a bummer one. And I don't know what's going on with this, so we'll have to wait and see. But PlayStation Plus will only have PS4 games in 2019, starting in February of 2019. I'll read this little thing. Sony will no longer include PS3 or Vita games in the lineup starting in March of 2019. Polygon asked for clarification on the numbers. A PlayStation representative told Polygon that Sony will continue to offer 2 PS4 games per month and no other free titles. That means subscribers will be losing 2/3 of their current monthly total.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I thought they were just doing away with the PS3 and the PS Vita. I didn't know they were reducing the total amount of games they were offering with PS Plus. That's kind of a shit situation for PS Plus subscribers.
Is it really though? Because
if you own a Vita and if you own,
but if you don't,
PlayStation 3, I'm okay.
A lot of PlayStation players really, I don't speak for everyone obviously, but most of the time you just buy the newest system.
Mm-hmm.
You don't usually use your PlayStation 3 or the Vita. They're not, especially the Vita. It's not as popular. It's hard to find those games to begin with. So really, is it more or less because they're seeing that they're not actually being downloaded? What is the point? You are a nerd. Is it like the whole idea of constantly putting these other games on there when they're not really being downloaded? It's a waste of time for Sony. I don't blame them for taking it off. And again, you're getting free games. They don't have to give you anything. It's kind of like Xbox Gold. They don't have to give it to you. Their service is for you to play their online games. It's to play on their servers and all that kind of stuff. That is what PlayStation Plus is for.
I agree with you. I agree. Sony doesn't have to give you a goddamn thing. But I have to say that I think this is more of a move to push PS Now and get people to play the games on there if they want to play back and pack, because that is their service from Gaikai that they spent a shit ton of money on. I think that's one of the reasons, number one. The other thing is, they're probably sunsetting both those, the Vita and the other thing, and the support's just not there. So they're just
that's my point.
Why bother? I agree. I think that's one part of it.
They're already only giving 2 PlayStation 4 games to begin with. So really, you're not losing out completely, because if you don't play on a PlayStation 3 or a Vita, chances are.
But here's the thing: they're raising the PS Plus. We've already seen a couple iterations where this price has gone up. Now, is it going to be worth it to you in the long run to just get 2 PS4 games now that they've taken? And if you are one of those people that have a Vita and still your PS3, is it still worth to them as well to keep their subscription?
Well, no,
because that's one of the big things.
All you play on, obviously, if that's all you play on is PlayStation 3 or Vita, then obviously no, it's not going to be beneficial for you at all with them raising the price and taking away the games. But but I think it's because they're trying to actually pull people away from those old systems now and trying to move them on to the newer system, because we do know that.
How many more people out there don't have a PS4? Isn't it like 70 freaking plus million have a PS4 at this point?
But they're already hinting towards the PlayStation 5. So they're trying. We already know how consoles work. they start to discontinue.
So you heard it here first. She-Wolf thinks PS5 is dropping this year, and they're going to be giving you PS5 games and PS4 games.
That's what I said. Right. Yes.
What does everybody else think about this?
And it comes with a cool
guys.
app where you can talk to your friends.
The only thing that this is going to do is it's going to change the dynamic of the comparisons between PS Plus and Xbox Live Gold. Whether it's the 4 games that Xbox Live is giving us every month, whether you're an Xbox One owner or an Xbox 360 owner. If you're an Xbox One owner, you're getting all 4 games because the 2 Xbox 360 games they're offering are going to be in the backwards compatibility program. So the only way that this is taking away from the PS4 owners is the fact that PS4 does not have PS3 backwards compatibility.
Yep, I concur.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think it's that. Again, like Brewtal was saying, maybe Sony thinks like he does. There's no reason to really continue to go back
to those old games.
They move
the new stuff.
It's definitely not like Sony doesn't come out with fantastic new games every year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I gotta get handed to Sony right now. PlayStation Plus this month is fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Bloodborne,
Ratchet and Clank,
and Mighty Number 9 that She-Wolf can't beat and do anything with.
I still haven't beat that stupid
I know
Pyro.
you haven't.
Dude, Mighty Number 9 is isn't an easy game.
No, for sure.
No, but I need that controller share so that way when I go into Mighty
have other
Number
people
9,
help you out.
Everyone else can beat him for me, and then I'll be good to go.
Nice. But kudos to PlayStation Plus for putting out some really sick games this month.
Yeah, that's a crazy.
Now, if they're doing that every single month, then obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if they're throwing like super huge, then that's not gonna happen.
Then,
though.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last topic for tonight, and that is Detroit Become Human. Now has a release date. It's gonna be the 25th of May. I'm actually a big fan of Detroit Become Human. She-Wolf and I watched this TV show called Humans, and it's based off the same premise of like androids becoming self-aware and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really digging this like whole like vibe of the story and how it's gonna play out with them doing their thing with the humans and fighting that whole kind of thing and seeing how that goes. I'm not a fan of games like Heavy Rain, even though they're phenomenal games and Telltale games. I'm not a huge fan of the point and click stuff. So the story is really super important to keep me involved in these type of games because I find them a little bit too slow for me. I like a little bit of faster pace. But if the story's great, the pacing's good, I'll continue because I thought Batman, the Telltale game, was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was a lot of fun. So I'm super stoked for it. I think it looks fantastic. I think the story is going to be really good. I'm definitely going to be picking this up for sure.
The game looks amazing. Just the
idea. What about the box art though? The box art was pretty bad. I heard.
If the box art is what determines whether I buy a game or not, that's the end of the story for me.
Sid, don't think about the box art, bro. Don't think about the box art.
I mean, I gotta judge it. I gotta judge the box art because
you don't judge a book by its cover.
You have to.
Yeah,
because it tells you what's inside of it.
You know what?
It tells me from beginning to end how the story goes.
I haven't bought a single physical game since 2013, so the box art means absolutely nothing to me.
Like, you tell them, bro.
But as far as the game, I love single-player narrative experiences. When it comes to Telltale games like the Batman game like GKB was talking about, I love games like that. More games like that need to come out. As far as making this the major game for that time of the year, I feel like you need to have a little bit more. They've got God of War coming out, so that's going to be really what pushes them above the curve there. Mm-hmm. But May 25th, that's a pretty loaded date because you got the Dark Souls remaster coming out. I know Brewtal loves remasters, but me as a huge Dark Souls fan, I can't wait for the current generation Dark Souls game to come out.
I'm with you, man. I'm Dark Souls all the way.
This does give you something to play over the summer when no games are releasing.
Yeah, that's the other good thing, too.
But here's the other thing. So PlayStation is known to be the home of the Souls games. So when it comes to a Dark Souls remaster, I expect that to sell much more on PS4 than what it's going to sell on the Xbox One. So when it comes to the PS4 gamers out there, the hardcore PS4 gamers, I expect they're going to buy more of the Dark Souls remaster than they're going to buy of Detroit Become Human because I mean, as much as I love narrative-based games, a game like Detroit Become Human is not considered to be a hardcore gamer type of game.
No, but I think like guys, like the people that loved Heavy Rain and all that kind of stuff, I think it's definitely got an audience. I think it's still going to do well. I don't think it's going to do like Horizon Zero Dawn or what Monster Hunter's doing right now, 7 point whatever million friggin' in sales. I don't think it's going to do any of that.
But it does have an Until Dawn feeling, though, that I think is going to pull in a lot of those gamers as well. I'm not counting this game out. And again, it is still releasing at the end of May, which... You know, this allows that summer months to give you something to do that's different and that isn't out. Where, yes, the Dark Souls is fun, but again, a lot of people play that till they rage too much and then they'll stop for a while and then, you know, go back. Where this game, you don't have to, like, you're kind of just going through a story. So it kind of gives you, you know, they're kind of giving you two different style of games for the summertime. Yeah. And I think that was a good move to actually start with because Xbox doesn't really release anything in the summer.
That's a good point, but I'm just going to call it now. Dark Souls Remaster is going to sell more than Detroit Become Human.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I don't debate that at all.
Kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting Dark Souls Remaster too, so I ain't worried about it. I love me some Dark Souls. Anybody else on the Detroit? Y'all liking the game? You want to get it?
I was excited about Detroit when they first showed the trailer for it. To be honest, I haven't followed up on it a bunch since then. But all I've been seeing lately is that graphical downgrade that everyone's talking about.
When really it's just a change in the lighting, so deal with
it. It's funny to me. Yeah. But yeah, it looks cool. I like those type of games. So
yeah, I agree.
It'll be hopefully be over before Last of Us 2 comes out.
I'm hyped for that.
Tie us over to Last of Us 2? Jeez, what?
It took me a long time to click, man.
Last of Us 2 is going to be a little while, man.
I know, dude. I'm just hyped.
And I expect a delay or two. I mean, it is Naughty Dog. They're not going to put it out until it's ready, so...
tie us over.
You better play like 30 minutes a day on that or something.
I don't play much PlayStation.
It's like I'm gonna eat a little something tonight, so just to tie me over until the
2 years later.
Wow.
Nice. That was all our topics. We got any questions before we get out of here?
No. If somebody wants to drop a question in the chat, I was kind of reading them as I saw them, so. But I do want to give a shout out to Predator for that $10 donation.
Thank you, Pred.
Absolutely love you, Pred. I saw it earlier, but it was just a little hard to jump in. No, it just said miss you. Glad that you guys are back. So
big shout out to Pred, really good dude. He's doing some podcasts out there. So make
sure
you
go follow him.
I also want to shout out. I know Noof. I know I'm going to say it wrong. I haven't seen it in a while. Noof's podcast that he's on now, they did a bunch of shout outs on their show about the Console Corner tonight.
Oh, so thank you guys. Really appreciate
that. Want to return that favor. Noof, please put the name of the podcast in the chat. I know I'm horrible with... I was trying to remember the whole time during this show so I could do this at the end, and I forgot.
We appreciate it, guys. We love you guys too, man.
So I just want to, return the shout out because, mad respect.
Isn't it Attack of the Glitcher?
No, that's who hosts it. That's not the name of the podcast. It's like X Power.
Well, while Shewa figures all that stuff out and gets some questions from you guys, I want to say a big shout out to the community. We love you guys. The support for the show coming back has been fantastic on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. You guys really blew us up, and we really, really appreciate it. On next week's show, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're going to talk about the Inside Xbox thing. It's dropping this Saturday. We're going to watch it and give all our impressions. And then I think we're going to have our first game impression back on the Console Corner. We're slowly going to be rolling out some stuff on the Console Corner segments and all that kind of stuff back. I wanted to do this show just us talking, getting us back into the flow of things before we start throwing a whole bunch of stuff out. I've been trying to get Mike to do What's Out Now, so I think he's probably going to be doing that again. I love that segment too, so... Brewtal might be doing some cool stuff as well. So you're going to see the show iterating as we always do on here. So big shout out. But we're going to be doing Rainbow Six, the zombie stuff, and the new DLC for COD as the gaming impression stuff for next week. So stay tuned for that. And we're also going to have a ton of other stuff to talk about. So don't worry. any other questions or anything before we bounce out of here? Big shout out to everybody that loved us and said us everything on the podcast. We really appreciate it, guys.
Oh, I had it right. I did say it right. I just forgot the podcast part at the end. X podcast, the X Power podcast.
X Power podcast.
Check them out. They do air before the Console Corner at 7 p.m. I was gonna say a.m. 7 p.m. Eastern time. So huge shout out to them, as they'll be our podcasting buddies on Mondays. Oh yeah, guys, Console Corner is gonna be Mondays 8 o'clock every week. We're gonna have all this fantastic crew back again. Hope you guys. Let us know what you guys think of the new panel members. If we should drop them, just let us know. Don't worry, we won't tell them.
Oh, God.
No pressure whatsoever, guys. No pressure.
Let me off.
No pressure. No pressure.
Kidding.
Just DM SheWulf. We'll talk about it, and we'll get rid of them when you don't like them.
Yeah. All right, guys. I got you back.
All right, guys. I'm going to let these guys shout out whatever they got going on, and we're going to get ahead and get out of here. Sith, what you got going on, brother?
Nothing much. We're just relaxing and chilling and playing.
Don't let this guy fool you. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got some really good videos. Yo, and his audition tape that he did for the Console Corner, Matt Proscott, I didn't get to talk to him about this. I gave my feedback and the text thing and all that kind of stuff. But this dude said, and this was one of the ones that I was like, yeah, we got to get him on the show, because he said Kingdom Come Deliverance was better than Skyrim, and I was like, if you got the balls to say that, you deserve to be on this show, bro.
Mike was like, yeah, no, he's not allowed.
Mike was like, bullshit.
Not happening.
He
got the tattoo.
Oh, look at that.
I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh,
it's an amazing game. It is amazing.
Nice.
Even though I got this tattoo.
Nice.
Yeah, see, facts. There we go.
But go ahead, Sith. Shout out your channel and all that stuff, buddy.
Yeah, this is SithlordMike, the Father of Darkness, Maker of Flames. You could find me on Twitter, of course, at the Only Mike Rich, and also, of course, YouTube, SithlordMike Rich. And I'm on Steam, SithlordMike Rich, PSN, SithlordMike Rich, Xbox Live, SithlordMike Rich, but it's missing an I because couldn't add an extra character. I was pretty pissed off about that. And yeah, I would say Twitch, but I mean not Twitch, Switch. But yeah,
give them the code.
I already know what to do with that. No multiplayer on that, really. So yeah, that's about it. And,
appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I think you're a great addition to the show, and I appreciate you rocking out with us. Tim, what you got going on, or Destro? I gotta get used to that.
You're gonna have to write down his name in the
I'm just gonna put it like all over it.
That way you can say my name. I'm not.
No, he's not supposed to.
You say whatever you want.
Go ahead, buddy. What you got going on? He's on Twitter, guys. He's moving up.
I'm on MySpace at really old.
People actually still use that?
No, I don't even know how to get to MySpace.
You type in MySpace?
MySpace still popping though. It's still
really it's still around.
It's still there.
Man, that's like looking at porn mags, dude. I'm past that. You can catch me out on mykids.com called the Hefty.
Are you gonna throw your Twitter out or what, bro?
Nah, you just catch me on Xbox if you want to hit me up on Xbox Live anytime. Look up Fupa Chalupa, and we'll definitely play some Siege.
Nice.
Which, hold on, somebody actually asked in the chat, GKB, when you playing some Rainbow Six for the zombies?
I'm playing that tomorrow night, guys. I'm not.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you right now, I don't like Rainbow Six Siege. Y'all know this to be a.
That's because you don't have a red dot anymore, bro.
No, it's because it's a terrible goddamn game.
We'll set it up.
It's
to
slow
play.
as shit, and I can't stand it.
We'll set it up to play Wednesday,
and
we will stream it.
No, hold the hell on, because y'all like talk shit when we're on community game time about me camping in fucking Call of Duty. That literally is a whole fucking game about camping. Get the hell out of here with this shit.
It's strategy.
It ain't strategy.
It is strategy.
Let's go hide somewhere.
No, it's strategy.
No, it's like that hide go seek fucking mode on COD. It's fucking terrible.
Look, GKB, I don't know if you've learned.
Y'all got me triggered.
You
God damn
are the controller. You can go wherever you want, bro.
Anyway, moving on. Brewtal, what you got going on, bro?
Yeah, man. So you can go follow me over on Twitter at Brewtal Knight. Just like my name's spelled in the. Are we gonna have descriptions in the?
Yeah, we're
thing
gonna
after we upload and everything. You can also please go follow me over on Mixer, streaming 4 or 5 nights. I'm scheduled for 4 nights out of the week. I usually end up streaming about 5 nights a week. I'm actually going to be going live on the stream right after the show. I am doing I'm in the works of getting an Extra Life charity stream set up for probably within the next week or two for children's brain cancer. I really want to get something going for that to get donated. If you guys aren't familiar with Extra Life, they donate money to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. So if you guys want to go over to Mixer, follow me. Make sure you let me know if you guys come over to the stream. I'd really like to chat. We can BS, and the rest of my GBO family is over there. My Mixer handle is going to be in the description, but if you need to get it now, if you just can't wait, you can go over. My Mixer handle is GBO_Brewtal Knight. And hopefully I see you guys there after the show. If you guys want to hop over there, that'd be awesome.
Heck yeah. Go follow this man. Go subscribe to him. Good dude. Magic Mike, what you got going on, bro?
Hey, everybody. It's Magic Mike 83 on Twitter, Magic Mike 83 on Xbox Live, and Magic Mike 83 on Mixer. That's Magic with a K, not a C. And now, if you'll excuse me, this Magic Mike really has to go to the bathroom later.
That's pro right there. Pro. She-Wolf, what you got going on?
Wow. So, again, if anybody wants to, we have started a Patreon to help eliminate ads. Also, we got some pretty cool tiers that you guys can join. Get stickers. Yeah, they're really cheap. But, obviously anything helps and all that fun stuff. Shout out to Dirty J again for being the very first Patreon. And your name will be posted on
You're forever number one, bro. Forever.
Your name will be your names will be posted at an end thing next show. And of course, obviously, you can find me on Mixer. As everyone knows, I am a Mixer partner. Please come check it out, subscribe, help support my Mixer channel if you would like to. My schedule is actually upping instead of changing. It's like we're going to add more streams. I'm working on doing actual night stream, which is why I think Wednesday, maybe I'll see about getting GKB to stream Rainbow Six Zombies for you guys. And also, looks like I might be bringing back Community Game Time. Yeah. I am actually hoping to bring it back. I may rename it and revamp it.
We're going to talk about that one.
It's my thing. Don't ruin it. Either way, but I want to bring back playing with all of you guys because it was super fun, and obviously it was an amazing thing in the community. And of course, I love streaming and all that kind of fun stuff. You can find me Monday to Friday, hanging out, having fun on Mixer, playing all different kinds of games, like nonstop different kinds of games. And of course, still doing the Gaming Den with Fox on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in, have some fun, hang out.
Longest outro ever. Mike went to the bathroom and came back, and She-Wolf just finished.
I literally did. I just got back from going to the bathroom.
I actually do stuff now.
What's up, everybody? I am GKB, the motherfucking governor. We are back, people, and we're going to just fucking take over everything, period. End of fucking story. There was a lot of fucks in that.
You've been doing that all night. That's nothing new. We told everyone to, cut the swearing, and you just,
Yeah, whatever. I don't follow rules. I don't care what you say. I'm going to do what I want.
I'm going to mute
Respect my authority. Follow me on game. Oh, no, it's the gov.
We changed it. I changed
it.
Yeah,
she changed it, so I don't even know what it is anymore. Look down in the description. You'll find all my stuff down there. We love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking out with us. You guys are fantastic. Join us next Monday, 8 o'clock. We love you.
Peace. Later.